From baseball and David Aardsma to our sports wrap NBA Weekly. It's time to talk hoops with our good friend Kurt Helin of Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. I got to be honest. I keep it a buck, as my friend Vlad would say. Baseball started last Thursday or Wednesday or whatever it was, and it has diverted my attention from the NBA. And I was so plugged in all season long to the NBA. And it's not that I've completely unplugged. I've been watching games here and there. But you notice you haven't gotten as many text messages from me over the last 5 or 6 days. It's because it's between the NCAA tournament and baseball starting. I haven't been as plugged in, paying attention, but not as plugged in as I would typically be. So I want to start on a couple of individual fronts in the awards season, because I was just saying to you off air, I was shocked to look at the MVP race this morning and find in the odds over on FanDuel that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's minus 450 and Victor Wembanyama's plus 350. The number hasn't been this close between those two all season long, it feels like. Is this the politicking? Is it the pure numbers? How is this number tightened as much as it has, Kurt?
Wembanyama's got a good case and is really upped his game. There is a recency bias that comes in for voters, even though we try to avoid it. It does come in, and Wemby has been on TV more and putting up 41 last night against the Bulls, but it still counts. You see the way he now just impacts the game on both ends, and like we discussed, last week on the weekly that was on YouTube, on the part of the podcast and show that went to YouTube, we were talking. He's at the point now where is he the best player in the world? It is worth a conversation, even if you're still going to land on Jokic or maybe Shai or whatever. You're at least in that. He's in that conversation in his fourth season at age 21. It's kind of crazy how good he is at his age. So he's in the mix. I think his late push has a lot to do with that. That said, my guess is, the next time Tim Bontemps does his straw poll, my guess is Shai's going to have a pretty healthy advantage. It'll probably change that market. If
we look at the final 6-7 games for both these teams, 8 games, whatever it is, look, you're talking about the Spurs being 2 back, and they only have to tie, and they win the outright, best record in the NBA. Now, I know they've got Denver a couple of times. I've looked at the schedules, and it's hard for me to make an argument they pick up 2 games over the final 7 or 8. But if they do,
that will change some things for voters. Look, does
he win MVP? Does Wemby win MVP if they wind up with the best overall record?
I still don't think it happens. But the argument for Shai, part of the argument is for Shai is that. And they're on pace to win 65 games again and have the number 1 seed, and that matters. But if you take that away and give it to the Spurs, and again, if the Thunder are focused, are they going to lose 2 more times? I hate with 8 games. It might not happen. That said, if they pass them, that will probably influence some voters pretty heavily.
Give me a thought here, and 2 of those games, by the way, for the Thunder, if I'm not mistaken, are against the Lakers, which will be interesting to see how the Lakers match up with them over those couple of games.
Yeah, the Lakers are playing so well on both ends, but I am curious when you get into a situation where you play a team, it's either the back-to-backs or it's not back-to-back in this case, but close to each other.
2 and 3 games, yeah.
Yeah, 2 and 3 games, whatever it is. You get some adjustments, right? You get the playoff adjustment kind of things that you don't get in the regular season. And I think that's always been the concern with the Lakers end, which is as good as they are running right now and as good as their defense is playing, you let me target them for 7 games and I can go after – I can set up sets to go after, especially Reeves. I can make Luka work harder on defense to tire him out. I can kind of try to expose on DeAndre Ayton and frustrate him. There's things that you can do that don't really happen in a 1-game one-off. So I'm curious how that shakes out. But yeah, I think those games matter a lot for the Lakers because there's still a sense. Look, I'm talking to somebody I trust yesterday, and he's like, they can beat Houston in the first round. Minnesota's a toss-up. They lose to Denver. Like, the belief is they're still not that great. They're not in the upper tier. If they want to make that case, those games can help.
I think they can beat Denver because our argument is them not being athletic enough, in terms of, if they got to race up and down the floor with these younger teams. Denver's not that. Denver's biggest star is a guy who lumbers up and down the floor. I think they could actually hang with Denver for 7 games. Just my thought. I want to get your opinion on this Steph Curry situation because I was shocked when Steve Kerr came out and said, look, we're not just bringing him back for the play-in. If he can't play meaningful games before the end of the season, we're not just going to bring him back for the play-in. That took me by surprise. I thought they would just hold him out, have him scrimmage, have him do whatever. But it sounds like if he can't go and play a couple of games before the end of the season, he's not going to play in that playing game. What's your sense here, and what are you hearing in terms of Curry right now?
Curry will probably be back Sunday when they face the Houston Rockets. Kerr said officially he is out tonight against the Spurs. Bet the over on whatever Wemby's going to. They don't have anybody who can slow him.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, who does? But especially that team. Number 2, then they play Cleveland on a back-to-back. He's unlikely to play in that one. But then they're off until Sunday. And I think that's when you could see him back. And that gives him 5 games, if he plays in all of them, down the stretch to kind of get his legs under them so he's ready to be eliminated in the first or second round of the play-in.
Well said. Kurt Helin's going to hang for one more segment, more NBA talk. It's the Sports Wrap, NBA Weekly. Kurt Helin with us from NBC Sports. Pro basketball talk at NBCSports.com. Breaking the hearts of Warrior fans, just saying, yeah, Curry will come back just in time to get eliminated in the... Really? Even if...
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think they're as good as Denver. I mean, let me rephrase that. Well, they're not as good as Denver, but I don't think they're as good as Phoenix with Devin Booker, and now they've got Dylan Brooks back, and that's been a solid team all year. Jordan Ott should deserve some Coach of the Year votes for what he's done there, or getting on the ballot at least. Joe, for the betting people out there, Joe's going to run away with that one, Missoula. I don't think that they're better than the Clippers the way Kawhi Leonard is playing and the way with Darius Garland in the mix and the way the Clippers are playing right now. And the Clippers just lost last night to a very feisty and challenging Portland team that when Denny Avdija is on the way he was on in that game and he's getting downhill is a real problem. I'm not sure they get out of that first game against Portland. If that's the 9-10, and it might not be, the Clippers could fall to 9 at this point because that's now a toss-up with Portland. I don't know that they can beat either of those teams, but then to win a second game on and both of those on the road, I don't see it for this Warriors team. Then they go into the summer and reload and go get LeBron James or some other big name.
Kudos to Tiago Splitter, by the way. I mean, stepping into what he stepped into in that situation in Portland, kudos to him. He's done a fantastic job in Portland.
And the buzz is that he keeps the job. We'll see. I mean,
I hope so. He should.
He should. New owner just now taken over. That always should make the entire front office of any organization worry a little bit. But I think that they're going to keep Tiago and keep the power structure in place, at least for now.
What does it say to you how well Detroit has played without Cade Cunningham?
I'll tell you what, I was big on they're out in the second round. If you don't have a second score, you don't have enough camp. And I'm modifying that slightly now. I want to see what the matchups exactly end up being. But if they get, look, it looks like, assuming things follow, look, the top 4 in the East, I think, are better than the 5 and below. So if assuming Cleveland gets through as the 4 and Detroit's the 1, I before thought Cleveland could get that, especially with Jared Allen back, but I'm now not convinced. The way they defend, they do this, they've got enough shot creations. Dennis Jenkins has been phenomenal for them out of nowhere. And now you got to wonder, his confidence in his step up and play gives them a guy they can lean on a little bit as a second creator in the playoffs. Their defense, like I said, has been locking teams down. And suddenly, I still don't think they're the best team in the East. I still don't think they buy Boston or New York whoever comes out of that 7-game battle. but I do think that they could reach the conference finals, which would be massive for them.
Couple of interesting sort of half off the court issues. Mark Cuban talking about regret in selling to the Adelsons and Dumont and sort of everything that's sort of transpired since then. He dragged Jason Kidd into it, and Kidd clearly wasn't thrilled about that. What was your big takeaway of what Cuban was trying to express in that?
I wish I still had control of basketball operations. I mean, honestly, I think that he thought for a long time up until till it was too late to get out. And he didn't. What he said is he didn't regret selling. Remember, like he enjoys the large windfall to his pocketbook, and the day-to-day stress of running the team. But he wanted to have some say in basketball operations. He has none, and that of course is part of what led. I don't think any of us disagree. There's 0.0 chance they trade Luka, right? If he's on there, so I think that's it. I think he just kind of. He talks about in there the toll of the emotional investment in that same interview. It's like, it's just you're up and down like a roller coaster with the team every night, and you're living and dying with this, and it's just a lot. And the weird thing about I don't want my kids to work for the basketball team, which was interesting, but I think he also misses that. With that intensity comes some highs and lows, but especially highs that I think in retrospect he just misses.
The Jaden Ivey story with him being cut loose by the Bulls. I mean, it sort of came out of nowhere for me. I actually didn't even, of all the people in the world, I didn't even know about sort of the gibberish that he was sort of spouting, and I'm clearly unrighteous. So I'm trying to sort of piece together how we got to a point where this thing got to a level where they said they just had to cut him altogether. And now you've got, other players around sports who are trying to support him, but kind of not support him.
Yeah.
What is this? Like, how did we get here?
It starts here. He only played 4 games for the Bulls after playing a limited role in Detroit this year. He has had a left knee issue he's had some work on it. It has not gone away. And he's just not as explosive. He is not the same player. He has not been as good on the court. To the point Detroit gave up on him, got him out at the trade deadline in the Vucevic deal. And the Bulls played him 4 games. So he wasn't impacting anything on the court, and he is what would have been a restricted free agent at the end of the year. And the Bulls are like, is it? So he's already kind of on this edge of like, are they going to pay him? Are they going to bring him back? How's that going to go? And then he goes on a rant that kind of goes at look, man, it's a business at the bottom line. And I'm not even going to get into how wrong I think what he said is said. He said a couple of things that were pretty horrific. He also said, by the way, he's had suicidal thoughts and points and all that stuff, which is, I hope he's getting some help for whatever he needs. If you're insulting a part of the fan base and being a distraction and you're not good, you're done. It doesn't really, honestly, it doesn't matter what the sport is. If you're on special teams in the NFL and you're suddenly a social media pariah, dude, you're done. Like, you're not worth keeping around. I can replace you. And that's where he is. And Ivy's got to do something because he's now an unrestricted free agent, and who's going to pick him up?
Going to be very interesting to watch. Kurt Helin, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. Always appreciate you in the NBA Weekly.
Hey, anytime, buddy.
Boston in the East?
I still think it's Boston in the. I think that they're the favorite, especially with Tatum back. They beat Oklahoma City last week.
You surprised at how well Tatum has come back? Because I am. I'm shocked.
I am impressed by how far along the curve he is.
Yeah.
Like the fit part. They played together so long and long enough
not
in the
fit,
same
just in terms of how
could be natural. But
just how
he doesn't look.
Yeah.
He's not hesitating. He is leaning into this thing. He had 30, was it 31, whatever it was the other night when Brown was out. That he's still going to be the number 2 going into the playoffs. But if he's now the guy on the offside instead of Jaylen Brown, working on the wrong, coming off weak side plays, dude, good luck. Like that's it. I just think that gives them depth on both ends. And now they have enough depth. The way Cade has played, they've got Vucevic probably back for the playoffs, coming off the bench. That just gives you enough depth up front to get away with it, to do that. Because the only concern I really had was that front court, and it's it's impressed me all year and been better than I thought.
I know, because Sam's not here. You thought you weren't going to get a 65 game question. Any more conversation on that over the last week?
Yes, in this sense, at the Board of Governors meetings this week, Adam Silver stuck up for it.
Wow.
Adam Silver, in his post-game comments, said, "Look, it's doing what it's intended. We're gonna piss people off no matter where we draw that line, but this has had the desired effect. We'll see if that sticks after the season and what." Look, ultimately, you've got to get owners to vote for it, and if Adam pushes for it, he's got some political will, but he's spending a lot of that capital right now on expansion. So maybe it's going to take a real uprising, and there'll be a couple owners, like maybe one from Detroit, that's really quite, unhappy about this. But it's if Adam Silver wants it to stay, it's going to be really tough to get rid of it.
The NBA Europe. I saw this today, and I was shocked that there was they're talking about $1 billion for yeah, but I mean that's still eye-opening money. Like where how quickly does this NBA Europe thing sort of evolve?
They want to be playing in the fall of 2027.
Wow.
And a lot of this is, look, these are established. You're bringing in a couple of established teams, right? Real Madrid, I believe, is one of them, but Barcelona. So you've already got established EuroLeague programs, and you're adding teams, but you're already the team that's probably going to be in Rome was kind of purchased from another city and being moved to Rome. And so the infrastructure can be built up really quick. That's because because some of this is established and the league is established. You're playing in La Liga. Well, is it La Liga? I believe, what ABC in Spain, whatever the leagues are, you're not building it from scratch, right? These aren't teams that are expansion teams. Like, you're just essentially restructuring how they play and who they play against and some of the money. And we'll see if this works, by the way. I'll tell you, part of the plan there is that they think the infrastructure in most of these cities, a lot of these cities, isn't, in terms of like basketball arenas, just isn't big enough, doesn't maximize the money enough. They want more modern arenas with, suites and all of that. All the stuff that we're kind of used to in the United States, and we just kind of, you're going to have to pay a license, ticket license fee, and there's going to be these suites, and that's really what drives a lot of the income. That's not the way it's been in Europe, and that changing that dynamic is a big part of their long-term picture.
Kurt Helin, Pro Basketball Talk at NBCSports.com. Check them out there. Always appreciate you, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
You and I got enough money to buy a team, you think, in Europe? Like, we're this close.
I'd gladly move there. I could gladly do Spain.
I get to choose this country though. I'm not going to Turkey.
Can we do like NBA Asia and put one in Singapore? I'd be up for that.
I'll tell you what, man. The day they can put an NBA team in the Philippines, that team will be, or anything like that, man. Like that it is weird, and I haven't looked in forever.
Yeah.
But I used to be able to look up my nations where I got traffic, and obviously USA 1, Canada 2. Philippines were pretty consistently third or fourth, like every day. And it's not an English-speaking country, and yet that's where a lot of the international traffic came from.
Yeah, I would, man. If there was like an NBA Singapore, and I can just go there, English-speaking country, I'd sign up for that. Yeah, I'd sign up for that.
It would pass my Mexico City theory for best street food for a team. So,
appreciate you, my friend. Have a great week.
Take care, man.